That's wild.
Hey, look up this young fighter called the Monster. You ever hear Monster?
No.
Japanese fighter called Monster. This is a monster.
Crazy dude.
Yeah, let's check him out, man. Ikuki, what's his name?
This guy, Naoya.
Yeah, let's look at some of his fights. He's a mean son of a bitch.
Where's he fight?
He's a Japanese, 118 pounds. But wow, he was like 108.
Boxing?
He's a mean son of a bitch. Oh yeah, you'll see this bad motherfucker.
Stop right there.
Nobu, just tell him to mind the cones.
From Brooklyn to Japan, the baddest man on the planet just gave his stamp of approval. Mike Tyson is all in for Naoya Inoue as he heads into his clash with Ramon Cardenas. That's right, Iron Mike is backing the monster, and when Tyson supports you, it's more than hype. It's a warning shot. Cardenas better be ready.
Face forward into the camera, guys.
Right here, guys.
Right there.
Right here in this one.
Right over there. Right down there.
Right here again.
He don't look like much. He's better than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was blue like that. Just as good.
He looks like a fucking pop star.
Oh, wait till he get on these motherfuckers.
The most efficient hunting machine in all of boxing.
He's vicious. The monster.
Oof.
That's a badass guy he beat too. Broke him down. Ooh.
118?
Yeah,
This isn't just some casual shout out. Mike Tyson is practically recruiting himself into Team Inoue. In a world where legends rarely hand out praise, Tyson didn't just notice Naoya Inoue. He studied him, broke down his style, and couldn't stop hyping him up like a proud mentor discovering his prodigy. When Tyson watched Inoue's highlights, it was like a spark lit up. He didn't flinch. He didn't hesitate. He sat forward, eyes locked in, fully into what the monster was doing in that ring. He didn't just admire Inoue, he analyzed him like a fellow assassin. And let's be real, when the baddest man on the planet gets goosebumps watching you fight, you're not just good, you're something else entirely. Tyson talked about Inoue like a general talks about one of his finest soldiers.
Japanese fighter is the best fighter. In my opinion, I'm nobody, but I think he's the best fighter. He's 122 now, right?
122. He'd be going to 135.
Why don't they fight 132, something like that?
Now, with Inoue gearing up to face Ramon Cardenas, Tyson's energy is riding shotgun. It's like the spirit of 80s heavyweight chaos is backing the most terrifying force in modern bantamweight boxing. Cardenas? He's not just fighting Inoue, he's walking into a storm with Tyson cheering it on. And when Tyson says you're more vicious than Pacquiao, yeah, that's not just support, that's an alliance.
Naoya, I like Naoya. Before he became, I teach him in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. And Naoya, if he's thinking to moving up in weight division, I hope that I can teach him and supervise his workout and training, and we can do that.
So you want to train him?
I wanna train him and supervise his training, or if he wants to moving up to higher weight division.
What did you think about his last performance?
Huh?
What did you think about his last performance?
Oh, fantastic! And, it's a good performance, fast, quick.
And speaking of Manny Pacquiao, he's not just sitting back and watching Inoue shine from a distance. Turns out Pacquiao has a real connection to the monster. Before the world knew Naoya's name, Manny was already working with him in Japan, quietly mentoring the future champ. And now, he's ready to take it a step further. If Inoue decides to move up in weight, Pacquiao wants to be right there, guiding, supervising, maybe even training him personally. That's not just praise, That's investment. That's one of the greatest boxers of all time seeing something so special in Naoya that he's willing to get directly involved. It's starting to feel less like casual support and more like a passing of the torch from one icon of Asia to another. And when someone like Pacquiao says Inoue's last performance was fantastic, you know it's coming from a place of high standards.
Do you still watch boxing now? Are you still into it? Do you enjoy watching boxing?
Yeah, because you know, boxing is my passion, so that's why I'm enjoying watching boxing.
Do you have a favorite fighter now that's active?
Right now, you know, Asian like Naoya Inoue.
Anyway, amazing fight.
You know, yeah, he's a good fighter, and I hope that he will accomplish in different weight division also.
Yeah, he probably will. Such a quality fighter.
So now, with Mike Tyson publicly hyping him and Manny Pacquiao offering to mentor him, Inoue isn't just walking into this fight with momentum, he's stepping into the ring backed by legends. Ramon Cardenas might have signed up for a title shot, but what he's really facing, Naoya's just a monster with a legacy army behind him.
You're landing your best and he's landing his best. Is that something you feel like you could hold up to for 12 rounds and beat him in that kind of fight?
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, bro, because he does. I mean, again, 29-0, 26 KO, right? So he must hit hard for, if you have that many knockouts, and you must hit hard. It's just, again, man, I just have to go out there and be ready for a type of fight like that, where I know it's gonna be a tough, rugged fight, and I just have to be ready for it in a way. I gotta be ready for the best in a way that basically the world has ever seen.
But while Naoya Inoue has legends like Mike Tyson and Manny Pacquiao backing him up, let's not act like Ramon Cardenas is just some random guy showing up to get steamrolled. Nope, this man is coming in with serious grit and he's got one thing on his mind: war. Ramon isn't clueless. He knows exactly who he's going up against. Inoue's undefeated with 26 knockouts in 29 fights. That's scary for anyone. And when people ask if anyone can really handle the monster's power over 12 rounds, Ramon doesn't act cocky. He keeps it real. He knows Inoue hits like a truck. But guess what? That doesn't mean Ramon's backing down. If anything, it fires him up even more.
What do you attribute the improvement to and the power surge to?
I think for me it was just my confidence, man. My confidence and just I at one point in my career, man, I didn't really have a career, if that makes sense. I was just I was fighting just to fight, and I was fighting every now and then, and then I hooked up with my manager that I have now, and he changed my life completely, brother. I told him that I'm willing to fight anybody as long as the money made sense, and the money's been making sense, and that's where I just been fighting anybody, and for me it was just having that belief, in a sense, like having a team that believes in me, having a manager that believes in me, what I can do, and that's all it really was for me. That's what I attribute, in a sense.
See, Ramon's not just fighting for a win, he's fighting for respect. Not too long ago, he was barely hanging on in boxing. No clear path, no spotlight. He was fighting just to survive in the sport, but everything changed when he linked up with his current manager. From that point on, he promised himself no more holding back. He told his team he'd fight anyone, anywhere, as long as it made sense. And now, it makes more sense than ever.
Yes, I don't have that many knockouts in my record, but I've always knocked people out. Like I've always, even in the amateurs, man, you can look me up in the USA Boxing, and in 2013 they had taken off the headgear. That was a year where they took off the headgear, and I had knocked out. I was the first knockout stoppage of that year, and the first day and everything, and so I've always knocked people out. It's just,
sure, people love to say he doesn't have knockout power, but that's only because they're looking at his pro record. What they don't see is how, back in his amateur days, he was already putting people to sleep, even without headgear. He was the first guy in his class to score a knockout when they removed headgear in 2013. That raw power has always been there.
It's like anything. I think it's going to be a chess game the first couple of rounds. It's going to be who makes the best moves the first couple of rounds that are going to set up for the later round. My head off, I'm gonna try to knock yours off. But yeah. No, I actually got upset with him when he because that was a clickbait, and then my manager actually called me, hey, Ramon, like, you know.
And Ramon knows this fight won't be easy. He calls it a chess match at first, a battle of smart moves in the early rounds. But after that, it's all instincts. Fists flying, no room for mistakes. Because once the bell rings, all the talk stops. Inoue might have the fame, the belts, and the legends cheering him on, but in the ring, he's just another man trying to knock Ramon's head off. And Ramon is ready to return the favor with bad intentions in every punch.
Would you say the monster is multi-dimensional?
Yeah, of course.
But have you seen him legitimately be multi-dimensional?
Yeah.
From a standpoint of being able, obviously we know he can punch.
Yeah.
We've seen him get to the body. But
he's a box people
I really haven't seen him stay on the outside and counter punch.
Do you think that's what he's gonna have to do against Fulton though?
It's not the point. The point is you just call him the #1 fighter on the planet.
Pound for pound.
But you gotta be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Who they fight? I mean, you can say that for Crawford. Who they fight?
The other thing is we could forget how Inoue has stepped up in weight, right? You know, he's coming up pretty high for a guy where he started. So here he is, a favorite in the fight. Everybody assumes he's gonna win. Tapales is certainly a good fighter in that weight division. Wasn't the biggest name, but he did get himself a title and won in an upset. So it's easy for us to forget that Inoue has come so far up in weight. But the fact that he can be dominant in a win, even though, as we said, Tapales had a few good moments, is extraordinary to say about Inoue. Because this guy is... He could be a generational fighter when you think about it for this smaller weight class.
Speaking of knocking heads off, let's talk about what really makes Naoya Inoue so scary. Sure, everyone knows he hits like a truck, but that's only the surface. What people forget is that Inoue isn't just a puncher. He's smart, he's technical, he can adjust on the fly. Yeah, you've seen him destroy guys to the body, but what you might have missed is how he controls the ring, how he sets traps, how he times everything like a chess player with knockout power. Some people question whether he can fight on the outside or counterpunch if needed, but here's the thing, he hasn't had to do it often because he breaks guys down before it ever gets to that point. If he ever needed to switch it up, he's got the tools. He's not one-dimensional, he just hasn't been pushed to use every weapon in his kit yet. And don't forget, this man started at light flyweight. Now he's climbing through divisions like it's nothing, taking out champions who were comfortable at those weights. And he's not just winning, he's dominating. That kind of power and precision following him up the scale, that's rare.
Inoue is not only pound for pound the best in the world, Inoue is the best fighter I've ever seen, no matter what weight category or anything. I have never, ever, in the almost 60 years I've been in boxing, seen anything like Inoue.
Even boxing legends like Bob Arum, who's been around for nearly 60 years, are saying they've never seen anything like Inoue, not in any weight class. That's not just hype, that's history talking. But Inoue's greatness isn't just in his punches or his perfect technique, it's in his versatility. You can see it in how he adapts, moves up in weight, and still dominates. His ability to step up, take on new challenges, and win in spectacular fashion is what sets him apart, making his journey even more extraordinary.
When it comes down to a lot of things, you know, I think the best guy that I faced, and maybe perhaps if I was younger, it might be a different story, but at the moment of who I am in this time, I would say Inoue is the toughest that I've faced, or the strongest that I've faced.
You mentioned Inoue as probably or potentially the best fighter that you've faced in your career. What is it about him that gives you that distinction?
I think it's like facing the younger me. You know, there's just a lot of similarities in terms of power, explosiveness, and sometimes intelligence. You know, but I think a lot of it is given the similarities is what makes it more difficult.
Naoya's impact has even earned him the respect of legends like Nonito Donaire. The two have faced off, and while Donaire has seen and faced it all, he admits Inoue is the toughest fighter he's ever met. In fact, if he'd faced this version of Inoue when he was younger, things might have been different. But as it stands, the raw power and explosive speed Inoue brings to the table have made him a true force. Donaire even mentioned that facing Inoue felt like facing his younger self, highlighting not just the power, but the intelligence in Naoya's approach. When the legends of the sport start comparing you to their own prime years, it speaks volumes. So whether you're a fan of Inoue's dominant fists or his flawless strategy, the fact remains, he's earned a spot among the greats. For years, there's been this ongoing conversation in the boxing world. If Naoya Inoue really wants to be the face of the sport, the next global superstar, he can't just do it from Japan. He has to come to the US, where the eyes of the boxing world are wide open, and that's not some random opinion. Sean Porter said it clearly.
I follow that phrase, to each his own, you know? Everybody's looking for the next star. Everybody's talking about how much money you can make and how many fans you can have and things like that. We really don't know what Inoue's, what his goals are. Are his goals to be the star in boxing? If his goal is to be the star in boxing, you gotta come to the United States. It is what it is. You gotta cross those seas, and you gotta knock out some Americans to make these other Americans take notice of who you are and what you're doing. There's a lot of people in the boxing world that respect Inoue and what he's done. But if you're someone like me, I'm saying, hey, let's get him. I don't think he's gonna lose, but let's get him out of his own backyard. Let's get him a little uncomfortable and see how he handles the energy when it's not at home.
According to him, if Inoue's goal is to be the star in boxing, not just a great fighter, then there's only one way to go about it. He has to cross the ocean, step into the ring on American soil, and knock out some Americans to really get the respect and recognition he deserves.
I thought that between Isaac Cruz and Inoue, we might have the next fighter, foreign fighter for the sake of words, who could translate to the American audience. I do believe that is Inoue. I think Inoue is the next Manny Pacquiao. Not at that going all the way up the weight class and all that stuff, but someone who's extremely explosive, eye-catching, and also inviting to who he is as a fighter and as a person. Yeah. It could be him, so I'm looking forward to that.
Porter's take wasn't negative. It was a challenge for Inoue to leave the comfort of his home crowd and face the kind of energy that hits different when you're the outsider, when you're in someone else's backyard. He wasn't questioning Inoue's talent, far from it, but he made it clear, if you want to be embraced by American fans, you need to come to them and dominate. The best don't stay comfortable. The best go out, take risks, and show the world what they're made of under any lights in any arena.
The kid from Japan, Inoue. So when you see, he got the victory over Cool Boy Steph. Cool Boy Steph, he's not a heavy puncher, good boxer. But far as, Inoue, it was a Filipino fighter, he had fought twice, Donaire. So Donaire was giving him fits in the first fight. And if I'm not mistaken, Donaire was somewhere close to 40 or 40 years old when he fought him the first time. Whereas, and he was in his 20s. So he should have knocked him out in the first fight. Fighting a guy, like I said before, at that age. What I need Inoue to do is, I need him to come fight in the US, random blood, urine testing. I think he's a hell of a fighter. A hell of a fighter. I won't take nothing away from him. Hell of a fighter. And I like him because I see he take a lot of my stuff from my playbook.
Floyd Mayweather echoed that same thought in his own way, and Floyd doesn't just hand out compliments unless he means them. He said Inoue is a hell of a fighter, and even mentioned that he sees Inoue using some of the same moves from his own playbook. That's a nod of serious respect. But Floyd also brought up the Donaire fights. He felt Inoue should have finished the first fight quicker, especially given the age difference. And then Floyd dropped the line that stuck. He said Inoue needs to come fight in the US. Bring that same heat here. That's where the real test lies. And now, Inoue's done exactly that. He's not in his comfort zone anymore. He's set up shop in Las Vegas, training with intensity and purpose. He's not here just to participate. He's here to make a statement. This isn't about coasting on reputation or highlight clips. This is about showing up where the spotlight never dims, where legends are made, and proving to everyone that the monster can dominate on any stage. He's not just looking to win. He's looking to knock heads clean off, figuratively and literally. That's how you shake up the game. Even Mike Tyson's a fan. Iron Mike himself called Inoue one of his favorite fighters right now. And if that kind of respect doesn't tell you something, what will? But now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Inoue ready to become the face of boxing in America? Or is the real test still ahead of him? Let us know in the comments below.